Welcome everybody to another edition of Susquehanna Fishing Tackle Seminar Series and our cabin fever sale this week. And I appreciate everybody for coming out. I mean, it's what 40-mile-an-hour winds outside and 30 degrees. So what better place to be than listen to the fishing seminars and buy fishing tackle, right? So welcome everybody for coming, stopping by through YouTube. We appreciate that. And this is our series of seminars we're going to keep adding to the channel. Don't forget to like and share, and we appreciate everything with you guys. This is also something that everybody can use this. We're going to have it for like a library. You can go back and and access it and look for certain things that we talked about. You might have remembered. You can look it up on there and review for different times of the year. Today we have Corbin Gotwalt, who's kind of a regular with us. Corbin's been on our press staff for several years. He's a guide on the Susquehanna River. Most of you guys know him. He does great seminars. But not only is he a great smallmouth fisherman, but he's really a great largemouth fisherman. He's a great bass fisherman overall. Fished with him many times bass fishing. He thinks outside the box, which I really like. So Corbin's going to go over fishing local waters for largemouth bass. Could be some lower river stuff. Could be some lakes, whatever. But Corbin's going to go over a lot of the techniques that works for you, right? Yep. And I'm going to shut up, let Corbin go. Enjoy yourself. And if you
are we live with De Palma?
Yep. No, we're not live with De Palma.
Well, if you want to call him Greggy?
No, go ahead. All right. Actually, let's do that. Let's do that.
FaceTime him?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's FaceTime.
FaceTime and Greg De Palma. Just call him.
Yeah, but look at you going. I ain't answering that phone.
There he is.
Hey!
GDP! We're in the middle of starting my seminar, so we're bringing you in on it.
Yep. Look at here, Greg. Look at here, Greggy.
Yep. De Palma, baby. Bassmaster Elite Series. Largemouth fishing, Greg.
You want to listen in? You might need some tips. Well, we're just calling to see how the things are down to Classic.
They're going really good. It's pretty cool. It's warm down here, which is nice. It's going great.
Great, man.
Awesome, man.
All right, well, we're going to learn all kinds of cool things about catching giant largies. So I'll talk to you later. Go ahead. It's recording.
Yep.
It's on. You can watch it. Yeah, you can watch it later.
All right.
We'll throw you a bone, all right? I see you. All righty. See you, pal. So okay, we'll get this thing going and
Right on time.
and thanks guys for coming, and don't forget afterwards give away some great door prizes. We got piles of stuff here we're going to
We
be
got some
giving away.
Z-Man stuff to give away.
Yeah, we got some Z-Man stuff
They're
from
really giving stuff
Corbin,
for
yeah.
this, so.
All right, I'm getting out of here.
So by show of hands, how many of you guys fish lakes for largemouth? Lakes. How about rivers? Okay. Tidal water. All right. So what do you guys want to get out of this? What specific topics do you want to learn about? Techniques? Is there anything specific you want me to cover before I kind of start just going into some things? Okay. Anybody feel they want to learn more about like flipping or frogging or buzz baiting or anything like that? Grass fishing, rocks? Okay. All right. So when you guys think of largemouth, all right, you have to think completely different from smallmouth. I'm going to shut this door.
I do.
But in the end, they're both predators. So no matter what, if a lake has smallmouth and largemouth in it, what are some of the big differences between smallmouth and you guys know?
They don't like this fast water.
Okay, they don't like fast water. They
Ambush.
ambush. Okay, largemouth are more lazy, I guess you'd say. Except, I mean, tidal water, they'll be a little bit more active, but generally speaking, your lakes are going to be easier to see on your screen. You can see smallmouth on your screen too. They're not going to move as much necessarily, unless they're just following bait. What else? How about forage? Do they eat the same things? Okay? So since this topic's on catching big largemouth, one of the biggest differences is big largemouth eat bluegills. Okay? They eat bluegills, they eat yellow perch, they eat trout. Obviously your small eat that stuff too, but for the most part your largemouth are gonna be, you know, if they can have, George makes the best analogy where your smallmouth wants to kill a cow to get a steak, the largemouth wants the steak served them on the platter. Okay, and I made that analogy from time to time. So what types of baits are we looking for? Well, depends on the time of year. Okay, in the spring, what happens is a lot of your fish go where? They go up shallow. Okay, so what types of baits do you guys throw in the shallows to catch largemouth?
Worms.
Worms, spinnerbait, jerkbait, crankbait, rattle trap, all that stuff, right? So what I do is I look at my graphs religiously. Okay, I'm looking at water temperature, I'm looking at contour changes, I'm looking at hard cover. All right. Typically speaking, for me, I catch a lot of my big fish off of hard cover, or I catch them sight fishing in the springtime. Okay. Now, if I'm not catching them that way, I'm catching them in flooded conditions where they're up in no water. Okay, which is where nobody else is really going to be fishing. So, what types of baits do I use to catch them? I'm going to tell you guys right now. All right. So, if I'm going down, I'm fishing hard cover. All right. In the springtime, for me, it's all about covering the water. All right. It's not necessarily the easiest thing to do to fire up a school of largemouth. Okay. But typically speaking, in the springtime, I catch a lot of the cruising singles. And what I mean by that is, yes, I will have a pattern. Okay. So if you look at a lake's going to have points, right? It's going to have riprap banks. It's going to have grass. It's going to have flats. It's going to have channels, right? Well, typically speaking, if I catch a big fish on a rock flat on a secondary point, and I go to another rock flat on a secondary point, it's going to be catching. There's a pretty good chance to be a big fish there. Okay. So, what types of things am I doing? How am I catching these fish? You know, how am I identifying what the fish want? Okay. In the spring and the fall, the wind is your friend. Okay? The wind is your friend. Because the wind is going to do what? It's going to blow the bait. It's going to blow the water. Because you're going to have warm water and cold water. All right? It's going to create possibly a little bit of cloudy water. Okay? Which is going to allow the fish to typically be shallower. So, for me, when I start in the spring, all right, I'm doing three things. I'm going to have a rattle trap, I'm going to have a jerk bait, okay, and I'm going to have a jig. If I had to fish tournament, early spring, with three baits, that would be it. If I had to use number 4, it would be a check. Okay? And I'm talking early spring, like 45 degrees and below. All right? Reason being is because of this. Number 1, with a rattle trap, I can do what?
Cover water.
Cover water. All right? Why am I looking to cover water? What am I looking for? I'm looking for active fish, possibly schools of fish. I'm looking for bait fish on my graph. I'm looking for water clarity changes, temperature changes. And for me, the number one thing I'm looking for is grass.
Yes, correct.
Grass. I'm looking for grass. And yes, you can do it under electronics. Absolutely. And I do a lot of that. But the reason why I'm throwing a rattle trap is I can't see on my electronics how green that grass is or how brown it is. So a lot of these lakes around here, if they spray the grass like they do on Marburg, which is definitely a fishery, you know, that's one thing. But if they don't spray the grass and the grass is bright green, your greenest grass has your highest oxygen content, which is going to have your bait. Okay? Guess what else is going to be into those grass beds?
Predators.
Huh?
Predators.
Predators. Okay.
There you go.
What else? You guys are missing the big one. Yellow perch. Okay. The lake has yellow perch. Yellow perch spawn between about 40 and 45 degrees, and they spawn in the grass beds. Okay. And when the yellow perch are spawning, that is big bass city. I've caught more 5 to 6 pound largemouth in cold water on this yellow perch mega bass jerkbait than people realize. Okay. And the reason being, fish perch in the grass beds, this looks pretty identical to a yellow perch, right? And bass will eat a perch big time. Okay? So the reason why I'm throwing a jerk bait is because what can I do with a jerk bait that I can't do with a rattle trap? Pause it. Okay? I can pause it, I can let it suspend. Right? So the whole key when you think about it is I'm using that rattle trap to cover water, to locate my head that I think are good. Grass flats with green grass, hard cover rocks, okay? Ditches, troughs, underwater logs that I can see on my side imaging. But if the fish are super active, they're gonna bite a trap, they're gonna bite something new, okay? And the reason why I throw a rattle trap is because no matter what lake I go to, I'm not trying to catch fish on the rattle trap. If I catch them, it's a bonus. I wanna catch the grass. I wanna feel the bottom. I want to see what's down there. If there's bait, sometimes you can feel it, and you'll feel it hit your trap if you're good for raw bait. Okay? So guess what? You're already like ahead of the game, right? You know roughly what you're looking for because you've already located something that's going to hold big fish, right? So at that point, if they're not going to eat the active bait, what are they going to eat? Something that sits in front of the face, like a jerk bait. Okay, that I can throw out. This is actually my jerk bait rod that I have a little jig on. I use a 6.6 to 6.10 rod. This is a GLX, 6.6 medium heavy. Throw it as long as I can. Farthest cast I can make. Okay, and I'm using 10-pound fluorocarbon, high seas, and I'm just twitching that bait to get it down. All right, twitch it down, twitch it down. But the whole key is I'm not necessarily moving my reel handle a whole lot. And the reason being is I need that bait to get down, and with fluorocarbon, it will, at cold water temperature, depending on which jerk bait you have, and I'm not talking about brands. I'm talking about you can have 3 different jerk baits, and some might perform a little bit differently. The exact same color, the exact same grip. If you have one that's slowly sticking and getting down on fluorocarbon, you're going to be able to get in the strike zone and keep your bait for those fish. With smallmouth, okay, we throw the jerk bait, cross current, we rip it, we expect them to pull. With the largemouth, it's a lot more finesse. So what do I mean by finesse jerk bait? A lot of times you just have to take your rod and barely, once you get it down the strike zone, go like this, slack line. And you can be sitting there for an hour, waiting for a couple big fish to bite. I mean, not one cast takes an hour, but you may fish that key stretch of bank, okay, in upwards of an hour to catch 1 or 2 fish in these super cool temperatures. But they're going to be big. Okay, if you're dead sticking a jerk bait, okay, and a big one eats it, remember exactly what you did to get that bite. Okay, so what do I mean by that? If you're fishing a rip-rap bank like this, okay, and it drops down into the channel, there's grass on the channel edge, and the sun's beating on that bank, you go to the next lake, the next place in that lake where you can find the same pattern, same temperature, and you do the same thing, and you're probably gonna catch another big fish. Okay. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. So for me, when I'm throwing a jerk bait, it's really simple. I use a lot, but I keep it pretty simple color-wise. I use a yellow perch. Okay. I use a white version, which is like a chartreuse shad. You can also use a pearl ayu. All right. Or I use a ghost minnow. All right. Now, there's so many different versions of this, and I'm going to talk about a couple of jerk baits here as I grab them that are very good out there. I use the Jack Swat minnow. Okay. And every one of them performs differently because of the lip and the rattle. Right. I use the KVD. You hear the difference in that. All right. The Mega Bass, which has a very tight wobble to it, and the Lucky, different size, different end. One of the best baits that's on the market right now is the KVD, the deep diver, because you can get it down quicker to some of these grass beds, okay, and let it suspend. For me, when I'm using this bait, typically it's a little bit warmer because I'm ripping it a little bit faster, whereas when I'm dead sticking, I'm using a Mega Bass, I'm using a Mega Bass Vision 110, a 110 plus 1, or the new 110 plus 2. Okay. How many of you guys in here throw Mega Bass jerk baits? I'll show you. Okay. So Mega Bass just brought this out in February, and pretty much they used to have a plus 1 that went down to say 8 to 10 foot. The plus 2 goes down to 12 plus feet. So because we're talking about transition areas, we're talking about creek channels, hard banks, we want something that's gonna get down to that strike zone. If I can take a jerk bait that's the exact same size as I'm going to Megabass. And the reason being, because if I need to throw something to get down deep, once it gets down there, that big largemouth was hungry and wanted to eat. That big largemouth wouldn't be sitting there suspended off the ground, above the grass. They'd be up shallow. Does that make sense? So, any questions on jerk baiting?
Are you getting a reaction strike? Is that,
Yeah.
are you,
Oh yeah, you're getting a reaction strike, but the difference is your smallmouth. When you twitch a jerk bait, the smallmouth will kill the jerk bait. Okay, whereas you get a largemouth that nests jerk bait bite. You know how they're almost always hooked if they're on the finesse bite. One hook in the back. One hook in the back. Okay. Maybe one treble. Maybe they'll have one on the side that catches it like this. But generally speaking, if you get one hook in the back, guess what? They're on finesse jerk bait. If I'm going down a rock bank, I will mix a crankbait into the mix, and that crankbait is going to be something like a crayfish imitator. This is a square rock crawler. Okay. Again, a lot of times once that water temp gets to 45, the crayfish start to come out. And if you guys throw a lot of rattle traps or you read anything, they say cold water or red rattle traps excellent to throw, and it just crayfish. Okay. I do that stuff as well. So I'm going to just pass some of these around, some of these jerk baits and stuff around for you guys. Pass the Megabass perch. And then we're going to talk about a special circumstance here. So, I want to talk about a big fish pattern, okay, that many people overlook on a lot of these local lakes. How many of you guys get bass fish know what kind of forage is in your local lake? You know what I mean by forage, okay? One of the big things to look at, and you can find out all this stuff pretty much online through forums, through looking, past history or anything. Are there crappies in the lake? Are there bluegills in the lake? Which is bluegills everywhere. Are there yellowfish in the lake? Or in Lake Marburg, for instance, are there rainbow trout in the lake? Okay? Because guess what happens in cold water in some of these clear lakes? Gracetown, Marburg. You want to go? Thermocline's not as defined. Does everybody know what I mean by thermocline? Where basically, you have your warm water on top, cold water on the bottom, and then it flip-flops for certain times of year. So when it's cold out, some of those fish, like your trout, well, instead of being deep like they are in the summertime when the water temp comes up, they'll be cruising back. They'll be up shallow. Obviously, in clear water, you can see them. All right. A lot of Pennsylvania likes to stock lakes with trout. Okay. If you ever see them stock, guess what happens? Feeding frenzy. All right. So again, when you're looking at a trout bait, matching the hatch, big fish eat, rainbow trout. And if anybody here follows big swim baits, right, across the country, a lot of the big ones they make at 8, 10, 12 inches are what? Rainbow trout. Because out in California, a lot of those lakes, that's what they have. So, again, just something else to put in your arsenal there. Any questions on that? So the next kind of thing I want to talk about has to do with a jig. All right. I fish a jig a lot. All right. I fish several variations of a jig. I fish anything from a finesse jig to a structure jig to a 1 ounce jig to a bladed jig or a chatterbait to a swim jig, football jig. Every jig is different. Okay, but jigs catch big fish. All right. Every day you go out, may not be a jig big fish day, but I'll tell you what, a lot of days you catch big fish. All right. So, what types of jigs? What types of jigs do you guys like to fish? Anybody here a big jig fisher? Football jig? Like an Ellie's jig, okay, and swim jigs. So for me, I think it's very, very difficult to beat this little jig right here, all right, which is the Z-Man Power Finesse jig. All right, and here's why I say that. In the springtime, a lot of times it's small forage, okay? So if I'm gonna flip a bush, I'm gonna use a small jig or I'm gonna use a big jig. For me, there's no in between. I'm either using a small jig or I'm gonna use something like this. All right, which is, I mean, look at the difference. All right, now, small jig, high pressure situations, I go to black and blue, green pumpkin, Z-Man makes a color called Bruce Green Pumpkin, all right. Typically I throw the turbo crawls on it. This one here happens to have a baby rage crawl on it, because I did a demo on my last seminar where I had the two Z-Man jigs side by side. One had the baby rage crawl on it, the other had this trailer on it. And I had a little water tank, and it showed that this trailer stood up versus this one would fall down. For those of you guys that were here for that. So again, when it's cold water, I like to go with the Z-Man baits because even when it's warm water, because when that hits the bottom, it floats and stays like that, which looks like a crayfish in its natural defense position. All right. So here's one of the big things that people don't think about. All right, is a day like yesterday. A day like yesterday, right? We are going to be super excited to go fishing. It's 70 degrees. First warm spring day. We're going to get the boat leave work. We're going to, maybe take a sick day. Call the boss. I'm not coming in today. You know what I mean? Like yesterday and Thursday were those 2 days that people that have bass fever, fishing fever are going to dream up, right? Well, guess what we do when we get out there? We're all amped up on Red Bull. So we're like throwing jerk baits. We're like, yeah, it's 70 degrees. Boom, boom, ripping jerk baits. We don't realize, because we think it's 70 degrees, the water temp's like 39 to 40, right? So we need to adapt and kind of slow our roll down, which is what this bait, the jig, can really teach you guys. Okay? And how long does it take me to fish with drag fish finders and see fish because of the jig? And if they don't, like, if they're suspended and I don't catch them on the drop, I'm going to reel back in and do it again. Okay? I may drag it a little bit, but generally speaking, I'm not going to.
Yeah, you can't fish them
waste,
fast.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste my time, dragging unproductive water. Okay? So a lot of people will be like, oh man, it was really tough out today. And they'll be like, Corbin, how'd you do? I'm like, yeah, it was okay. They're like, well, how many did you catch? I'm like, I don't know. They're like, you caught some? We didn't do anything. It was a nice day, but it's because you spent your time in unproductive water fishing the correct baits. Does that make sense? So you really want to zone in and look for green grass, rocks, okay? I'm going to talk about wood, because what happens with wood and rocks in the heat? Guess what happens with everything migrates towards that, okay? So when I'm fishing a jig, all right, I'm fishing it on, I didn't bring my jig rod, 15-pound fluorocarbon or braid. Even in early on, people are like, why are you fishing it on braid? You guys ever see those like nasty trees that you're like, I don't want to flip in there or cast near there because I'm going to get my crankbait hung up? I promise you that sometime throughout the early season, a big fish moves up in there. And you will need all you can to get it out. Okay? Big fish love bushes, they love shallow water. Early in the year, when the sun gets up there, when it's our first spring day, we're like, yeah, I'm going up there. That's when I'm going to the bushes. Okay? And I'm looking for, I'm going to pitch a jig, and it's a reaction bite for me. I'm not letting it sit in there. It's hitting the bottom, it's hitting the bottom, it's hitting the bottom. Move, 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 move. Cover water. Okay? One of the biggest mistakes people make in the springtime is they don't cover enough water. Same in the fall.
How many pound braid?
50. I use 50-pound braid for almost everything. If I use braid, and then I use foam. So, again, so we're talking about jig, little Z-Man Power Finesse jig, okay? David Walker jig too, another great jig. So I'm gonna pass these around for you guys. I'm gonna talk about swim jig here when I talk about warm water. Okay. So, what happens next? What happens once that water temp gets above 40? Okay. This is typically when all your people start to come out. Water temps in the 50s, right? Everybody's, you can catch standard chatterbait. How many people here throw a jackhammer? Okay. For those of you guys that are not throwing a Z-Man jackhammer, you're missing out. Here's why. Okay, first of all, it has a 4-aught hook, so it's got a smaller hook. The stout hook. They're all painted blades for the most part. Yes, they do have some flash in them for like the whites and the baitfish colors. Okay, but the noise and the erratic action of this chatterbait has proven itself time after time after time to be a big fish catcher, a tournament winner, okay, and consistency time after time after time. And I'm not saying regular chatterbait doesn't work. I'm a huge regular chatterbait guy until this came out, because then I started catching 5 to 10 to every one regular chatterbait. Okay, so it's not even a question for me what I'm going to be using. If I need a gold blade, that's about the only time I'm going to get a gold chatterbait. All right.
They also run a little deeper too than the regular.
Yeah, they do. But here's the other thing with them: they're making 3/4 and ounce. So early in the spring, we're fishing those deep troughs. I'll use 3/4 ounce chatterbait. I mean, I'm not afraid, because guess what? The grass isn't real thick. I'm not getting balled up on anything. I can slow roll it going down the bank. Okay. People ask me what trailer I'm going to use. I'm either going to use a swim bait trailer, like I have one here. Okay, small swim bait trailer, or I'm going to use a crawfish trailer. Okay, what colors? Generally speaking, okay, around a lot of shad bait. I'm going to throw green pumpkin. I'm going to throw like the color beehive we like, has a little bit of chartreuse in it. Okay, if I'm throwing a green pumpkin crayfish, I'm going to throw the beehive crawl. It's got red in it. Okay. But if you look at all these, they all have the same kind of common denominator. It's all dark blade. All right, and there's something too that's dark blade.
That's the biggest difference though between those $20 ones and the regular
No,
ones?
no.
What else?
I mean, the head design's different. You can skip them.
I know you said the hook size.
Yeah,
is
the
different.
hook size is different. They come from Japan.
They're using a fluorocarbon line?
Yeah. So for chatterbait early in the year, unless I'm fishing really thick grass, I'm fishing 15-pound. Okay. If I'm fishing thick grass, I'll look at 50-pound braid. But I can promise you, if I'm on that good of a chatterbait bite that I'm catching on in thick grass and sparse grass, I'm gonna have braid and I'm gonna have floor. I'm gonna have both. Okay. Like when I go to tidal water, both. And then I'll take those same rods and use them for sources. Does that make sense over there? So. Gear ratio, speed.
You use a faster retrieve for the chatterbait?
I use a 6, 2 to 1, or 7. I do not use an 8. A lot of people use 8s, but I like to make long casts. Okay, and I'm fishing mine on Conquest, which I said last time, 7 foot medium heavy. I like to make a long cast and almost like just kind of drag it a little bit once it hits the bottom. Okay, make sure they're on the bottom. All right, and kind of push it. Right? They're suspended. How are we going to catch them? I know they're. You can see them on their screen. You think your screen's full of crap. How are you going to catch them? I'm going to catch them on the fall. This bait's either going to fall and hit the bottom. I'm going to drag it 2 or 3 times, then we'll reel back in and do it again. Make a long cast. Peg my weight about anywhere from 1/8 to 3/8 tungsten. Okay, and make sure it lays flat on the hook. It's going to fall straight down. I actually do a thing on certain lakes around here where I take a big worm, okay, I make a super long cast, right, and once it hits the bottom, if I don't get a bite, I go and I like stroke it the whole way back. But when I'm stroking that worm, okay, it's never hitting the bottom the whole way in. Does that make sense? So what I'm doing with that worm is this. I'm actually taking the worm, I'm making the longest cast possible, and for the cast sake, I'm going to say it's the length of this table. It hits the bottom, okay? I'm taking the worm, and I'm going like this, okay? And I'm kind of like this. And as you can see, I work my way through the water column all the way back. Does that make sense, everybody?
Pulling it
Okay.
above the grass.
Hmm?
Pulling it above the grass.
Yep. And then I reel it back in. For this technique, it is so important to have an 8-to-1 reel. 8-to-1 high speed, 7-foot rod or longer even, okay? Because you want to make sure when you throw this, these fish are very spooky. Again, we're talking power finesse here. We're talking every other guy that can cast from here to the wall. I'm casting 2 and 3 times that way, okay? Because I'm throwing 10-pound fluorocarbon or 12 pounds. I want to get away from the boat. These fish just spawn. They don't want to eat. I'm getting a reaction bite off of big baits, okay, which is causing them to eat. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay? So I stick to several different colors throughout this whole situation. I'll use a June bug, black and blue, a green pumpkin, and like a watermelon with some kind of flake. Okay? I keep it very basic. Now, depending on what's going on, if I know the lake has a lot of bluegills, I'll dip the tails chartreuse. Okay? Which to me does sometimes help get more bites. So I'm gonna pass kind of these around. Has everybody here seen a baby brush hog before?
Yeah,
Okay. Everybody seen a 10-inch mag 2, not mag 2, what you call old monster before? Okay. So I'm gonna pass these around in case you guys want to take a look at it and see. And my setup's pretty simple. I use a 3-aught hook and a bullet weight, and I peg it every time. Okay. I could go to a 4, but sometimes you catch more grass. It just depends on the thickness. Okay. And I'll go to a 4 depending on where I'm at. Okay. But this is the time of year after the spawn when everything gets tough. People say that goes deep. Your fin is off. Yeah.
It's back on now. Yeah, it's back. You put it back on.
So when that happens, okay, we have to make different changes because everybody's gonna still be throwing the circuit and letting it get to the bottom, okay, and waiting forever. Okay, we're throwing jigs on the outside of the grass edges, or flipping jigs in the heavy grass. We have to make different changes, or guess what? We're gonna catch 2-pounders, 12-inchers. We're not gonna catch the big species. Okay, all right. Any questions on that kind of technique? All right, so one of my all-time favorite techniques to fish is flipping. Anybody has ever seen a seminar, in years past, I did a whole seminar on just flipping, okay? Flipping heavy cover, heavy weights, when to flip, when not to flip, kind of the whole top water frog thing. If anybody has any questions, I pulled some frogs here about the frog fishing I like to do. Flipping baits, I keep it very, very simple. I use a beaver type bait, such as the Reaction Innovation Sweet Beaver, okay? Sometimes I'll use the rodent every once in a while, all right? I'll use a D-bomb. Does everybody know what a D-bomb is? Okay? And one of my big ones that I use, again, back to the power finesse, is the baby D-bomb. Because I can fish this right here on a heavy weight, and when on that fall, I'm getting a reaction bite. So I'm fishing a heavy weight, small bait, stout hook, and I'm fishing for a reaction bite. Make sense,
we're still
everybody?
post spawn yet?
Yeah. Yeah. And once that grass is up, it's game on. I won't go anywhere else.
And you do them Texas rig too?
Yeah. But I'm snell mounting these.
Once you throw it in and it hits the bottom, you work it once or twice and pull it out and throw it again, another spot.
So when I'm using this stuff and I'm flipping the beavers and stuff like that, I'm not actually I'm not casting. I'm flipping.
Okay.
Pit, they call it. I'm pitching. I'm letting it get to the bottom. Okay. And if I don't get it to the bottom, I'll shake it. And I'll reel it. I'll shake it, and I'll go back in. And go again. But again, I'm on an 8-to-1 reel, and when the flipping bite's on, or I'm searching for a flipping bite, or I know the flipping bite's a deal, I'm gonna have 2 flipping rods, maybe even 3 or 4. I've carried 4 before, but I'm gonna keep it simple: 2 with braid, 2 with fluorocarbon, 20 pounds.
And are you doing it quiet as you can?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what rod would you be throwing that on?
Huh?
What rod would you be using?
So-
Medium heavy or
Huh? Oh, heavy.
heavy?
When I buy a flipping rod, I make sure it can handle 1/4 of 1 ounce. And depending on what it's rated for, I will adjust accordingly. Because for me, I'm not afraid to flip a 1 ounce weight. I've done a lot of damage around here locally with 1 ounce weight. Even bigger, ounce and a half. Okay? But because when you flip it, you gotta make sure you get to the bottom. Okay? And my whole thing is this. I believe that largemouth, because they're busy, have like a fight or flight response. And when they get shallow, post spawn, if they go shallow and they get back in the grass, why are they eating that frog? Reaction. If I can drop something in their face, they either have to eat it or not. Right? So the more times I can drop it in the area, the better my chances.
And where are you pitching to? Into grass, brush?
Grass.
And
If I'm pitching it in a brush, I'm going to use probably a 1/4 ounce or 3/8. So, but now I'm also going to tell you guys this: you have to pay attention to your grass, not your graphs. Your grass. If you're fishing a lake with grass, you need to look at the grass and see what it is. If you're fishing the Susquehanna flat, you need to see what kind of grass you're fishing. If you're fishing Goldsboro, you need to see what kind of grass you're fishing. So, what do I mean by that? I mean that on Cadorus, when they used to have grass before they killed it, they could you could take a 1/2 ounce weight, okay, and not get to the bottom in some of the areas where it was real thick. If I took that same setup and went to Goldsboro in the eelgrass where there's nothing under the layer, I would sink like a rock. Okay? So you always want to use a weight you can get to the bottom on, okay? But if you're not getting hit and you're definitely getting to the bottom, try going a little bit up. Does that make sense? Especially if you're fishing eelgrass. Eelgrass doesn't give as much resistance and it kind of flakes and blades off. Whereas like your coontail, your grass that has like little pine needles on it, that's a lot thicker to get through. It lays over and creates a bad canopy. Okay. Now, as the post spawn keeps transitioning into summer, okay, what happens? You want to start looking for fry. You want to start looking for bluegills because the bluegills spawn right after, the bass. So this is kind of all in that time that I'm doing speed worm, or not speed worm, the worm, power worm technique, power finesse, brush haul, flipping. All these things are in fair play. But the big thing that I'm also doing is I'm checking shallow. Okay? The reason why I'm checking shallow is why?
Feeding on the bluegill.
Feeding on the bluegills. The big bass eat bluegills. So, know if there's a bass cruising shallow. What types of things am I looking for?
Wait.
Weights,
You wait
okay.
from
Big
world.
fish starting in the water.
Bait fish darting. Generally speaking, on a lot of these lakes, unless it's super, super dirty, okay, you can see a bluegill. Because you can see the swirl they make when they get run off the bed by a bass, they make big swirls, right? How do I, and if I have some handy, I'll get it there, but I'm fishing this way. Come back to that fish, because the reason being, I know it's there. I know there's one really close to there, okay? If there's a bunch of little bluegill fry, chances are if I go down the bank from me to the back there, I'm gonna have a bunch of little neat beds in that area, because generally speaking, you don't just have one bed in that area. If you find an area, you found an area.
Yeah.
So typically, if you have bluegill beds in an area, you know that you're around it, right? So this is where, for me, it becomes really kind of fun, because guess what happens during the bluegill beds? They can be very, very finicky. The glitter can make a difference in a Senko, okay? You can make a long cast, and I've caught some big fish. This thing looks crazy on the Jack Levinsky, okay? If you notice, what color is it? Bluegill. It's got a prop beak, okay? Make a long cast with it. So I now know these fish are around bluegill beds, and they're up shallow. So I can make this long cast, knowing that fish just chased one out there. Probably a couple more laying in this general area, in the size of this room, and I can really kind of pick it apart and see what's going on. I will also start incorporating swim jig, maybe, okay? But this is where I'm going to be using some of the buzz jet, okay? Looks like bluegill. I'm going to cast it out. I'm either going to twitch it, or I'll fish it real slow with the weight break. I'm also going to be using, like I said, this right here, or you know what else I may use? This is when I start busting out buzzing. Okay. Now, here's the deal with the buzzbait. If you see these bluegills in this area, okay, you probably are not going to get a bite of that buzzbait midday. Fish is the next morning, or you're eating it. Back to the fish. Okay. I want you to peak for a lot of things. Maybe that first hour, last hour. If it's overcast, I'm going buzzbait. I'm going to go top water, Z-man run, ready. And I'm going to have a Ned rig ready. Because there's so many times where I've been fishing bluegill beds, okay, and I see a bluegill there, and there's a big fish here, and next thing you know, I see 4 out in front of me, okay? I throw the buzzbait, they don't do anything, because it's like they're looking down. Like they don't want to look up, okay? So you have to put something in front of their face. Flip a jig in there, they swim away. Put the Senko in front of there, guess what happens? They eat it, maybe. Put the Ned rig in front of there, they choke it. Because they're looking for that little profile, that little bluegill. Another key thing in this area is drop shot. So you guys have any questions so far? I mean,
Using short leader on that drop shot?
yes, short leader on fishing shallow. Fishing deep, I'm gonna.
Now, we're talking about transition in the summer, right?
Yep. So, again, drop shot baits I'm gonna be using. I use a lot of the Dream Shots. Okay? I use a lot of the Z-Man plastics, various baits that they make. I use sometimes I'll use a big worm when I'm out deeper. Coast on, not when I'm fishing a little bit of coast on. Okay. Any questions on that technique? How to fish it? How to rig it?
Swim bait available, no limitations for drop shotting.
Drop shotting? Yes, but I don't still shed usually 3 pounders. When I'm talking giant largemouth, I'm talking 5 to 8. Okay, like that's the type of largemouth that I'm talking. I'm not talking about 3s and 4s. I'm talking 5, 6, and 7s. Okay, like big giant. Some of the biggest ones. Okay, so what questions do you guys kind of have for me in regards to things so far?
One question, with a spinning rod with a braid on,
Yeah.
do you ever have any knot problems with a super slick line tying,
Okay. No. Because I'm using version 2. That's the big difference. There was problems with the original Super Slick 8. Super Slick 8 version 2, I've had no issues with line problems. And I've been catching 30 to 40 pound catfish. I've had no issues with not working or anything like that.
I found a problem to solve that problem where it's slipping, the braid is slipping. Just give it a few extra twists. I usually go 9, that seems to work
I go
pretty
7,
good.
Yeah, 7 to 9. If 9 works, it
Right.
works. Okay. And I mean, we put it to them when this new braid came out. SFT first got the new Power Pro 3 Super Slick 8. I was here like the day it came in, and George was like, hey, let's pull up 2 of these reels. I want you to go fishing, so let me know what you think about it. And if you guys don't know, and you guys read any of the blogs, I'm the one that does all the blogs for this. Okay, so I type them all up and do a lot of the product reviews and stuff like that. So that's why I will not put anything in the blog. I will not promote something unless I feel it works. You know, I'm going to be trying it before I go and tell you guys that, hey, this works. And for me, I was in your situation where I was not a super slick. Okay? I mean, I was not a fan of the original at all. I chose to use straight regular braid. And I can tell you, because he fished my reel the whole lot. But once that V2 came out, I was like, you know what, let me try it. You know, put it on 2 reels. I still have it on. I fished it all winter long. And typically in the winter, I'd be fishing straight fluorocarbon. So I committed myself to fishing, braided fluoro. And I've had no issue with not braiding, no issues with needles braiding. And, you know, it's been really good.
What's it called? Slick 2?
Super Slick 8 version 2. Yep.
What kind of terminal knot do you use?
Terminal? What do you mean?
What do you tie to your hook or bait?
Palomar. I use the Palomar knot 95% of the time. I'm flipping a ½ ounce, 3/4, or 1 ounce or heavier. Tungsten weight to a hook. I'm going to use a snell knot.
Will this seminar be on YouTube?
Yep.
It's shutting off.
Okay. So I want to talk to you guys about a very, very unique situation. Okay. There is a time of the year, okay, when the fish, largemouth, big largemouth, smallmouth, they heal a little bit, right? This is typically post-spawn area, right? Sometimes, did you guys ever be trolling motoring or walk down the bank and just see a big fish cruising, just cruising, and you're like, wait a second, it's like June. They shouldn't be cruising. This means that they're already spawned out. You know what I mean? But it's a giant fish. Okay. One of the biggest baits that I've had to catch big fish on, okay, is something like this. And I talked about this in my smallmouth seminar, but I fished it for largemouth too. It's the Jackal Riser. Does anybody here know about it? All right. If you look at this, and I'm going to pass this around, what do you see that's different about it?
The lip goes up.
How about the size?
Small.
Small. Look at this. This blade is going up, like you said. So what do I do with this? I put it on a spinning rod with 15-pound braid. It's got a lot of weight to it. You can throw this a country mile. All right. It sinks. The way you actually fish it is you reel it in. When you reel it, it rises to the top and dances across the water like this with an erratic action. Okay. There's videos on it, and I can show them to you guys after this. So, why is this so effective? It's the only bait on the market.
Do you do steady read?
It's the only bait on the market that has this action.
Was that a prototype?
Was last year, I got one. Okay. But now they have it in stock here. So the reason why I want to talk to you guys about this is they only had it in this size last year. Okay. And they got them in late, and they just brought them out in the big size. Okay. The bigger size riser. And they make a bluegill pattern. I just grabbed one off the wall here. It is a big time bait. All right. So if you think about it, if you throw a buzz bait out there, you throw a horny toad out there, okay, or a buzz bait with a horny toad out here, like the new big bait, buzz bait that they have in here, what happens?
Comes to the surface.
Comes to the surface, and it makes a loud commotion, right? How many things are this small, okay, that you can make a cast from here to the stop sign or here to the SFT sign at? And I'm not lying when I say this, with straight braid, 15-pound braid on a spinning rod, 7-foot rod here to the side, the SFT sign. Okay, you start reeling it, and it has such a little subtle action that if they're chasing bait, or if they're following something, or if they're just cruising. I think sometimes your cruising fish are tough to catch, but if you catch one, you can duplicate that pattern. Okay. So, what other questions do you guys have here? I mean, I got piles of baits I can do, or I got other stuff with me here. I know I didn't talk about swim jig a whole lot. Talked about that a lot in my other seminar.
What kind of rod and reel setup do you use for the Ned rig?
For Ned rig, okay. So I use one rod, okay, and I didn't bring it today. I use the G Loomis NRX. Okay. It's an 802. It's a 6.8 medium, extra fast action. Okay, and I use 8-pound fluorocarbon with the Shimano Stratex CI4 2500. All right. Now, if I'm going to use braid, I'll use 15-pound braid, 10-pound braid to 8-pound braid. All right. Either way, that's my set. And I'm going to fish 1/10, 1/6. Now, does that mean I'm not going to throw it on this rod right here, which is the 803, which is the medium heavy? I'm telling you, that's my set. I'll fish the TRE hogs on it. I'll fish the TRE trawls on it. I'll fish a tube on it, a swim bait on it. I'm going to pass some other little baits around here for you guys to look up on that same rod.
What pound test do you use for drop shot?
If I'm using braid, I'll use up to summertime real time. 6 pounds more.
Have you ever tried where they put the spinner in the back of the net?
I have not tried that yet. Z-Man just brought
Right,
that out.
right.
I'm trying it this year. Spinner rod's the only thing I use a leader on. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Look, I didn't pass that down.
How deep's that thing?
It doesn't run deep.
It's
It runs
surface.
on the surface.
Oh, on the
It
surface.
sinks, and when you reel it, it rises to the top and it skips. I mean, it's literally, it goes. I'll pull up the video here and show you guys, but it literally just skips across the surface like a bait fish. Little finesse technique. Everything they do a lot on spinner rods, right? So there's actually a video of a guy going, he's going down the bank, he's reeling it, and this big long.
With that horizon bait, do you do just a steady retrieve?
Yep.
What
Pass it up.
What gear ratio would you throw that riser bait on?
Riser bait? I throw it on spinning rod. The big riser bait, for me, you almost have to throw it on a 7 or 8, to me. But the whole key is you want to get that bait up and just keep it on the surface that doesn't sting. And you may have to bend the blade after catching a couple big fish. But I can tell you guys it's worth it because I've put a lot of smallmouth in the boat on that big riser bait and a couple big largemouth on it, okay? And it's still the original one that I have. So I didn't break it off, I didn't cost the bill, and I've had to tune it a couple times too.
I got a question. Do you modify a lot of your baits with like larger hooks, or maybe you cut the plastic off, or?
So, and that's a very good question. The question is about modification of baits. No. If I modify something, it's jig. And if I modify a jig, I'm just trimming the skirt of the weed guard. And I may trim the trailer down to like make it a smaller profile. But if I modify anything, that's it. I may put a feathered treble on like a topwater bait. I don't modify my jerk baits. I don't modify, pretty much anything else. Now, my whole other thing I do is I make my custom punch skirts, but that's a different topic. And that's about the most modification I do. And because I'll modify my plastics with, whether it's orange or, so if you can take, and I'm not going to do jack, but so you can, like, when you look at this skirt, this is perfect out of the pack. If you wanted to trim that down, you can take it and kind of like that. Like this jig, if you want to, you just trim that skirt down. Okay. But the big thing that you guys need to think about is, like, if you're going to talk about like a jig or a chatterbait, okay, you want to look at, when you look at your trailer, it's all about the trailer. Okay? It is all about the trailer. And what do I mean by that? You have to let the fish dictate to you what trailer it is. Is this mine or yours? They may want a small profile, like the ultraviolet speed pro on the back. They may want a rage crawl, right? They may want a swim bait on it. You have to let them dictate to you. And one of the big baits that I catch fish on the back of the chatterbait is a fluke. If you put a fluke on the back of a chatterbait, you're looking at a big bait. You're looking at a big bait coming through the water, and big baits do what? Catch big fish. Right? So, I mean, again, I have a couple other things up here that I can go over with you guys, but this seminar for me is about you guys. I mean, what you want to make sure you guys get out of it, you want to get out of it.
Out of all those Z-Man baits, when you're doing the Ned rig, what do you catch the most fish on?
So, the question is, out of all the Z-Man baits, when I'm fishing the Ned rig, what do I catch the most fish on? And if we're talking smallmouth or largemouth, okay, combined, it's probably the regular TRD. All right, but I will tell you this. That is only because the TRD crawls, for me, has not had the ability to pass the TRD yet. No, but the TRD crawl is still new in the arsenal for me, and the regular, like, Ned TRD is proven. Okay? I really think that crawl is gonna be able to surpass that. Okay?
I didn't quite hear what you said about how you roll chatterbaits, or how you fish them.
Like slow rolling down the bank.
You said something about you let it get to the bottom, and I couldn't hear you after that.
Yeah, so like if I'm fishing chatterbait, I'm gonna make a long cast, okay? Let my bait get to the bottom, all right? And I'll slow roll it. All right, so what I mean by that is, you know, if I'm fishing a bank, okay, and I'm fishing a lake, no matter what it is, no matter if it's a lake, if it's a river, fishing is a game of angles, okay? So when you're looking at, this is the cast that I'm making, you're not making this cast for no reason. You think there's a fish there. So if it's a 45-degree cast and I want to keep my chatterbait along the bottom, I'm going to slow roll it to keep it along the bottom, okay? If I'm making a cast and I'm following kind of like the creek channel, all right, I'm going to fish it where I feel it needs to be, slow rolling it, okay? But I'm going to let it get to that bottom first. If I'm fishing and the creek channel goes, you know, deep to shallow, because again, in the springtime, a lot of times your big fish are moving from deep to shallow, I'm going to cast it out this way, okay? And I'm going to reel it, and I'm going to kind of bring it up that. But when I'm bringing it up the grade, I guess you say, or the angle instead of down, I have to reel it faster to keep it up. Does that make sense? Otherwise you get hung up. But it's all a game of angles. Okay?
And what's your most popular weight you use, half or the 3/4?
For the chatterbait, it depends on the lake, depends on the time of year, depends on the grass, and depends on what you need. I mean, again, when I'm talking that spring chatterbait bite, you may have wind. If you have wind, you need to get to the bottom, or you need to get to those fish, or the fish get higher in the water column. You may have to make that adjustment. So a 3/4 ounce and a 1/2 ounce, always in my arsenal, as well as a 3/8. For me, a general good starting point is a 1/2 ounce.
I was gonna say, if I'm gonna buy one jackhammer,
Yep.
what am I gonna buy? 1/2 ounce and what color?
Depends. I don't know where you're fishing.
If I fish the river, I fish Blue Marsh and go the other way.
Some kind of green pumpkin, you know, bruised green pumpkin, something with green pumpkin. Or black pumpkin.
When in doubt, for a green pumpkin.
Yeah. They're all good, like the green pumpkin.
You only go buy one. When in doubt, for a green pumpkin.
So,
No secret, huh?
When you say you're flipping, do you use a flipping hook with a pegged weight?
yeah. Yep. Straight shank. That's what I'm using to sell.
Yep, snell knot, pegging the weights,
Yep.
hammer,
Absolutely.
hammer rod,
Yep. Up to 1 ounce.
saucer eye.
You didn't mention it yet, but I see it laying there, that waffle clock. How do you fish it? Is that just straight throw out, break them in, or?
Rotoworm rebarb. I don't have one here. It's a real thin wire, okay, that allows you to fish it on light line. All right. The whole key to fishing deep water with a drop shot, if you're going to target a big fish, is hook penetration. Does everybody know what I mean by that? So, let me show you a difference here.
It's called a robo
It's a
rebar.
robo or rebar. Okay. If you look at, and this is a little pop bar. I don't know if you guys can see it. That hook is not real thick, right? It's thin. This is a Gamakatsu flipping hook, or it's a EWG Superline hook. Look how thick the wire is on that hook. When you're fishing deep water, it's tougher to get a hook penetration with a thicker wire hook than it is a thinner wire hook. With that robo worm hook, it's a thin wire hook, so you can literally drop down to those fish, get a bite, go like that, and it's very, very sharp hook penetration.
What size?
Depends on the size bait, anywhere from 2.0 to a 3, 2 to 3, 1. Anything else?
All right. Great. Thank you, Corbin.
Yes, sir.
And thank you guys for tuning in. Next one is going to be at 12 o'clock with our boy Theo from Mega Bass. He's going to talk about clear water techniques. Because God knows up in Toronto, the water is getting clear, so he's going to talk about some stuff. So hang around for the next one. It's going to be pretty special.